It's the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, and it's time for us now to check in at Hume Netball and find out how last week's matches went. And Carla Fletcher, the president of the Hume Netball Association, joins me on the line. Hello, Carla. How are you?
Hi, Jason. How are you going?
Very well, thank you. Another big round of matches it was, most of them pretty clear-cut. But we might start with what was, in the end, the closest result of the weekend, and it was the bottom of the table clash. Kogon hosted Henty, and the Henty girls got the job done 44-34.
Yes, Henty were very excited about their first win against Kogon, and Kristen Hobart, who played in goalkeeper, won their most valuable player for the day. And Henty's new combination of shooters in Jessica Brout and Jodie Spencer worked really well together. And there also was a young girl, Hallie Corrigan, from the under-17s, made her A-grade debut on the weekend. And look, Kogon are still working hard and they're beginning to work well as a team, and I'm sure they're going to see some points come on the board in the near future for them.
Well, let's hope so, but for now they'll have to wait a little bit longer. The other matches were all fairly well clear-cut. We might go to the Billabong Crows. There's never a good week to get the Crow girls, but particularly after a loss, and Brockbyron suffered their wrath, 61-34.
Yes, I think the Crows started really well, really strong on the weekend, and they set the standard for the rest of the game. Brett Deegan, she took out best on court with some great shooting and quick movement in the goal circle, and she was able to convert, copious amounts of tip-offs and intercepts taken by the goalkeeper. So they had a really good day. Great bounce back from their loss last week. So well done to the Crows.
Jerilderie, they keep putting up big scores this year. We've talked about their famed defence the couple of seasons ago, but now they've turned into an attacking powerhouse, 69 over CDHBU 35. So still a good score from the Corinne girls, but not enough against a very good Jerilderie side.
No, and Lucinda Morgan and Chelsea Burns had a really good game for Jerilderie, and Jerilderie took on CDHVU and their new courts were resurfaced, so that was the first game back there. And look, it was a really hot day actually over all games on the league, but a lot of the centre court players and key people through the middle worked really hard. So for the whole 4 quarters, running the game out.
Lockhart, they keep on keeping on as well. They had a really good win over the Murray Magpies by 21 goals, 53-32, and the only surprise there probably the margin.
Yeah, so that's probably the biggest win Lockhart's had against Magpies for a long time. We've got a nice tall shooter in Olivia Lang, but the Magpies girls really worked hard in keeping Olivia quiet. And Lockhart's Holly Murphy had a really good game, one of the young girls. And so we're looking forward to getting back a full side. We haven't had one since round 1 at Lockhart, so they were really pleased to come away with such a good win.
I'll tell you what, Osborne, they just keep dismissing challenges as well. They took care of Howlong by 16 goals, 45-29. Probably a low-scoring clash by looking at that.
Yeah, it did look a bit low scoring, but I think Howlong outscored Osbourne in the second half. So the Howlong girls were really pleased with their efforts for the last half of the game, but I think Osbourne just came out too strong, and Howlong were just on the back foot from the beginning of the game. And as you know, when Osbourne's going so well, it's really hard to catch up.
Absolutely. They are playing really well. One of only 2 undefeated teams in the competition. And to finish off with the last A-grade match of the round was Randall-Wulbundry Waller. They took care of Holbrook 59-25. So did a bit of a number on the Holbrook girls.
Yeah, and Mel McClellan had one of her best games in the circle shooting for the Giants. And Alicia Lipsky also had a great game in the centre. And I think, just too strong for Holbrook. And they also had a young girl, Lara, playing under 17, who also had got best on court. So it's great for Holbrook. They've got a lot of young girls coming up. So they're a team to look to in the future too.
Indeed, they are. A quick look at the ladder. Jerilderie and Osborne undefeated 1 and 2 on the ladder. Then we go to Lockhart and the Billabong Crows, who've both only had the one loss. Then in Logjam on 2 and 2. The Murray Magpies, the Giants, Howlong and CDHBU. Henty cracked it for their first win on the weekend to go above Brockbyron. And Holbrook and Kogon at the foot of the table, still looking for their first win, Carla.
Yes, so it'll be a good match when they play each other in a couple of weeks. But I think the top six should probably float around what they are at the moment for the rest of the season, with maybe that 5th and 6th spot changing a couple of positions during the year.
Let's have a look at this week's games. At Urana, the Billabong Crows will host the Giants from Randall Bundry Waller, and the Crows will start favourites here. Yeah,
I think this will be the match of the round for round 5. And look, it'll be a tight game. I think the Giants does just have to make every opportunity to get every goal if they want to take 4 points from Billabong Crows.
And you're right, the others look fairly clear-cut. For example, at Corinne, CDHBU will start favourites against the struggling Kogon.
Yes, I think CDHVU will win that game. They're opening their new court on Saturday, and they'll be looking for their 3rd win in a row at home. So I'm tipping CDHVU for that game.
Good luck to them. Lockhart will head up the highway to Henty, who, fresh off their first win of this season, will have a bit of confidence, but Lockhart should win and win comfortably.
I think Lockhart will take those 4 points. Yeah.
Holbrook will host the canola farmers from Osborne, who will head up the highway. The footballers will take to the paddock there, and the netballers will get going on the courts, and I think the Osborne girls will win that.
I think they'll be too strong for Holbrook, but Osborne and Holbrook, they always have very competitive games. They'll try and give it to Osborne a little bit, but I think Osborne will just be too strong across the whole court.
The same could be said about our next clash, in fact, where two teams who know each other fairly well, Howlong and Brockbyron, will go at it. This will be at Howlong, and this should be a pretty close game as well.
I think Howlong will take the 4 points here, but, they're fairly close to each other, so it'll be a very tough competitive game as well. And I think it'll come down to the last half. I think it'll be fairly even to start off with, and then Howlong will put some more goals on the board.
Sure. The last match of the round to talk about, the Murray Magpies will be hosting Jerilderie. I believe this is at Lavington. They're hosting them there. So Jerilderie are top of the ladder, flying at the moment. They start favourites here.
Yeah, I think Jerilderie is just too strong across the whole court, and they've got some great shooters and really key defenders in their team. So I think they'll account for the Magpies quite easily.
Yeah. Anything else before we wrap up?
Just like to say well done to all the girls who represented the Hume in the 17s and the 15 teams at the Wodonga Carnival last Sunday. It was a pretty warm day, and coaches Emily and Sharon said the girls performed well for the first time playing together, and they're looking forward to getting together on the 23rd of May at the Wodonga Carnival. So that's exciting for all the young girls in the league.
For now, we'll leave it there. All the very best for the weekend, Carla. Thanks for joining us again here on the Flow Friday Night Sports Show.
Thanks, Jason. You have a great weekend.